Welcome to Through the Eyes of a Maine Guide. Every journey holds a story. By sharing the wisdom of those who came before us, we keep their legacy alive for generations to come. Join me, Brennan Lane, as we explore the wild through the eyes of a Maine Guide. Welcome back to another episode of Through the Eyes of a Maine Guide with your host, Brennan Lane, and today as a special guest, we got Lance Wheaton with us.
That's my name.
Thanks for coming on, Lance, and doing this. Yeah, so...
What you want to know?
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Lance. Like, you originally from the area? You born and raised here?
All my family's right here in the grave. You know, my great-grandfathers.
Can you put them... There you go.
My great-grandfathers are here. My grandfather, he had a nice home here in town that just changed hands. A fellow from New York bought it. Over on Shaw Street. That's where I was raised, and my grandfather, Arthur Christie, was right there in the big house next door. He had a little hovel used to take the horses that got hurt in the woods. They'd bring them to him, and he'd doctor them up to good again. You know, and there'd be sores on the back of the woods on the back of the legs, you know, where the logs had hit them. And when I come home from school, I'd walk from the school back across the bridge and up. And sure enough, I'd have to take it for a ride and exercise it. And, yeah, I learned a lot. He showed me how he'd do the legs and everything else. And he'd put a saddle on, and on I'd get, and I'd walk up around the dam with it and everything else. And this one time, she had a big sore on the back of her leg where a log had hit her. He said, "This is bad. I want you to go real slow, no running." But he says, "Go up above the dam where the beach is." And he says, "What you ought to do is walk him into the water, take him in so that she can swim." And he says, when she swims, get out of the saddle and move back on the rump. That way she can swim better. So, sure enough, I took her out and we swum back and forth. Did that, came back, got her off, she walked back in, and he took care of her. But, you know, in later years, it was odd. But many times up there, you saw a nice moose walking across or swimming across the lake. Well, I said, you know, they don't swim much different than a horse. I says, I think if I get the right people, I'm going to try it. If you can run the boat. So sure enough, one comes off the Canadian side, and you know, man, we should have a new moose in Maine anyway. So I pulled up alongside, and I says to the guy, I said, "You know how to run this thing?" "Yes," he says, "I've got one pretty near like it." Well, I said, "It's a good rig. I'll leave it running for you. You come back and run it." I said, "I'm going to jump on that moose's back, ride it." He says, "You're not." I says, "I am." So I took my wallet out. Back then, you know, I had probably $2 in it. Anyway, the moose is starting across from the Canadian side. And I pulled right up beside. When I did, just like he was jumping on a horse. And he was 100% right. Because I landed up front. Of course, they don't have a saddle, you know. And the head went down underwater, and I says, "Oh, I can't have this." So I backed up on the rump, and up come the head. And then I grabbed the mane and pull it, and you could steer it where he was going to go. Sure enough, I took her right to the American shore, and I said, "I'm getting off this thing. Those bushes and things, I'm too high, and I'm going to get it if I don't get off this moose." So anyway, I did. I jumped off the moose and swum back to the canoe. But, yeah, people know about it. People heard about it. And yeah, it was an incident, and you learn. But it was a nice life. I've had a good one. Met a lot of people from all walks of life all over this country. Yes, there was a few that was not too much, but other than that, I'll tell you another story.
Hey guys, shout out to Northwoods Outdoor Supply, proud sponsor of Through the Eyes of a Maine Guide podcast. If you guys find yourself in Aroostook County and need any ammunition, firearms, fishing supplies, or any outdoor supplies in general, swing in and see what they have. They have a large variety of firearms, ammunition, ice fishing supplies, regular fishing supplies, and just outdoor supplies in general. Stop in and talk to Brandon. If you don't have it, I'm sure he can get it for you. They're located right in the Martin's Plaza next to Martin's and Tractor Supply. So make sure you stop in and show your support and say hi.
But that's a true story. You fellas have probably done it yourself.
Oh, I've never done it. I've heard people talking about it, but I've never actually heard someone say it that I actually believe. Like I just believed you with
My younger brother
did,
he was. Dale.
He rode a moose across the lake too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it'd be worth a shot. I did. Me and the boy was out to Baker Lake, which is up north in Zone 4, fishing about a month ago there. And while we was out there fishing, the moose swam across, and we took pictures of it and that stuff. But I never crossed my mind about trying to jump on it and ride it.
Well, you'll be alert.
I'll be.
Thanks.
So, when did you start guiding?
In 61.
61.
61, my father wouldn't let me go. My father wouldn't let me do it because I was too young and it was too... But the game wardens come in and they said, if you're going to push him guiding, we'll put him in. So I'd get into a double-end canoe. They'd push it off the shore. We want to see you upset it. We want you to get it back in it, bail the water out of it, and bring it back ashore. That'll know if you know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, swimming, Christ, that's all we did as kids, So sure enough, we did that. And then when that was all done, they'd ask you about building fires. See if you knew how to build a fire and put it out and the whole deal. And the wardens would be right there. And that's the way you learned.
A little bit different back then than it is nowadays.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, different, but you learn.
Yeah.
You learn. Yeah. I've stopped after a lot of campers was there, and I carry buckets in the front of the canoe so that we can get water quick if somebody lets one go.
Yeah.
And probably 3 times in my life they've camped out, and all of a sudden, you had to stop because they was in a canoe leaving after spending the night out, and the fire was still going. So we'd grab the buckets and go ashore, and I'm not going to say where, but we went and put the fire out, and it's a good omen, you grow up learning. You're learning, and it's there for everybody, and you don't want to ruin it. We never threw a can in the water or never threw paper in the water. We always kept it clean. And even today, I don't take a water bottle with me. I reach over the side with a cup that my wife puts in the canoe. I get my drink and drink it. And I'm on East Grand, and I'm on Bascahegan. I'm on all of them up there,
You literally dip your cup in the lake and drink it out of that.
Sure I do. There ain't nothing wrong.
No.
There's no camps on Spednick. Very, very few.
Really? See,
Oh, yeah.
and I do it in the Allagash, like going down the Allagash River. I have a water bottle. When it's time to fill it up, when I'm guiding there, I just put it in the river and drink it. I mean, it's clear water coming down through, and people look at me like I got 10 heads when I take it to that.
You know, I drink it and I don't have a bit of problem.
It's what
I don't go up to a beaver house, you know, and drink that.
you don't go downstream from a beaver house and dip your cup.
No,
No,
but
that's what builds the immunity, though.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
you take all that stuff out and you get too clean, and that's where your immunity and your body and that stuff starts shutting down. Because then when you get exposed to it,
yeah.
your body's not used to it and it can't handle it.
That's right. But I've never had any problem. Never had a bit of problem. But I'm careful. You know. But
Now, so you guided mostly for fish, or did you do like hunting and that stuff as well?
bird hunting, yes.
Bird hunting?
Bird hunting, grouse, woodcock.
What you have for dogs?
Two Brittany's.
Brittany's?
Yeah. Spaniel. Boy, they were good dogs. Good dogs.
Have you noticed like the grouse population changing over the years?
Oh, sure.
Is it you think it's better now than it was, or is it getting worse? Or
Depending on where you are.
okay,
You know, if I've got a piece of land up there with some old apple trees and stuff, usually a little late in the afternoon they'll come down off the hill and in there, and they may eat them on the ground or they might pick one off a limb, you know, you don't know. But, yeah, you know, I never shot one on the ground. I always shoot them flying.
so you're a grouse hunter, not a partridge hunter, then.
That's exactly right.
There's only a few people that will get that.
Well, it's supposed to be fun.
Yep.
Well, I'm not going to walk around until I see one on the ground that's not moving, then kill him. You know, sorry about that.
Yep.
You know. And when you got a lot of dogs and you got people you're guiding, you don't just fire at one. You make sure that the dog, we have rules of 6 feet high and flying. You can shoot at it. Because that way they're above the dog and they're by a hunter if he's out front. You know, that way he's not going to get in trouble and you're not going to get in trouble. Safety first.
I see.
I've never had an accident with the canoe with people in it. I've never dumped. I've never come close. And I don't intend to the rest of my life. Yeah, that's true.
That's not a bad problem to have, though.
No, I seem to get little work, you know.
Yeah. Now, did you ever dabble in the canoe building yourself?
In the canoe?
Yeah, building, like making the canoes.
No, I only built 93.
You built 93?
Yes.
So, will you all tell us a little bit about that? Are you still building to date?
No.
No.
No. I'm 82, and I can't have it anymore.
No.
You know, I'm tired.
So what did you, like, there was like 3 different molds or 4 different molds, right?
One.
There's one?
One.
One.
Yeah. I've still got, I've got 2 I use, and I built myself a brand new one. It's up overhead and all ready to go. Never been in the water, but I was at the early this morning. I was out and checking it.
Yeah.
It's ready to go, but
Yeah. Is it a double end, a square stern, like Grand Lake?
all square stern.
All square sterns.
Yeah. We had a lot of people, you know. There was some people that had 8 horses on them. I've got a 15 on mine. And when you touch it off, when you get on some of the lakes, you need it grand. You've got a long way to get to Orient. But keep in, and if you got a lot of power, the big waves don't bother you.
Yeah.
You know, go easy, take your time. But, you know, a lot of them are 5 to 8 feet. I know certain guys with certain boats, they don't like it. Yeah. But
So you built 93 canoes. When do you think you started building? Is it something that was passed down to you, or is this something that you started?
yeah, my father and my grandfather made some. Well, down here, Kenny Wheaton,
Okay.
and his son now, I guess, is puttering with him and everything. I don't see him much, but I learned a lot from watching him as a young kid. And my father and my grandfather built a few together, and those were double enders and stuff. And then they'd take one and take the back off and make it so it would take a smaller motor. You know?
Yeah.
But that's all there was to it.
You make it sound so simple.
Well, you learn.
Yeah.
You learn, you know. It's a great life. It's good, but you know, when you built a canoe and you've varnished it and you've painted it green, you know, and you think it's how great it is and everything, and then you sell one to a fellow from New Jersey, and he calls you up and say, "Hey, how do you know what's the right size to put it in?" I says, "Green side down." And that's all there was to it.
Someone really called you and asked you that.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Now, you know what you'd like to say, but you don't dare. You know, you're from up country.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, my brother married up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That,
Fort Kent.
oh, we're in Fort Kent?
Fort Kent.
Yeah.
Dare me?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I went to school in Presque Isle after high school. And finished there, graduated from it. Decided to go further and went to another one in South Portland. And I was there, I think, a month, maybe 2 months. And I got a lovely letter in the mail. And they said Uncle Sam wanted me. So I learned that was the end of it.
Oh, so you got drafted.
I did get drafted. Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah. But, you know, when I was 10, my father was showing me a gun and showing me how to shoot one, you know, till 22,
Yeah.
you know. I remember him working in the shop over on, right across from the dam. You know the White House that's over there? Right across from the dam on the west side?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see that
Shaw Street.
in there. Yeah.
That's where I was raised,
Oh, really? Right there?
right there. And when you look to the left of it, you saw a bigger house, green.
Okay.
That was my grandfather's, you know, and then there was, Bacon was there. That's where Bacon canoes came
Yeah.
about.
That's where they come about, was right there?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yeah, it was just beyond his place. So you learned, you know, you get into it.
You got any other interesting stories that you want to share?
Oh, I have, but they're off color.
Off color?
Yeah. Yeah. But a lot of us do believe that, you know, I think we ought to have more out-of-state people come in and look at our stuff. Because I'll tell you, it's keeping Maine green that we're interested in. And if we can get their money, then we can turn it green.
It's true, though. Like, with the technology nowadays, like, we should be reaching out and getting more people to come here, because it's really a blessing what we have here. I mean, this little area, geographical area here, there's a potential for a lot of people to be here and take advantage of the resources and that stuff that there is, and you don't really see it much nowadays.
Hey, Al here. I just want to take a minute to talk about our wool gear. Our Big Woods Bucks wool gear it's the best value there is on the market. We have 100% virgin wool clothing, whether it's our packs, pants, jackets, whatever. The virgin wool it's the natural fiber from the sheep, and it wraps into a tight thread. That's what makes it waterproof, pretty much wind resistant. and comfortable to wear. It's quiet for hunting, especially in the big woods. You can't find anything better than wool clothing. So we have ours. It's all made in USA with all U.S. accessories and everything. We've got, years of experience guiding and it's thought that's gone into this stuff. So we've tried to keep the average hunter in mind and kept the price point at where people can afford it. We hope you enjoy it. Wear your woolies. Cotton is death.
So you were saying earlier that you was on the advisory council for 19 years. And with that, like, you hit on a key note that you're the type of person that wanted my kids to benefit and everybody around, everyone around the area to benefit from the resources that we have and the stuff that IFNW did, like stocking of the trout ponds and that stuff. And like that really, when you mentioned that really hit something off, because like that's my whole purpose behind doing what we're doing today is I want my great grandkids and my grandkids and everyone else to understand the heritage of what got us in the guiding industry to where we are today by doing that. And you took a different route for 19 years and spoke on behalf of the advisory council for the Down East region.
Washington County.
For Washington County. And your voice was heard for that 19 years to get it. And you had to be on that, that's quite a nomination you're nominated from the governor to hold that seat. So you spoke for 19 years on behalf of Washington County to help get it to where it is to this day.
Well, what I wanted was the people of Washington County. Probably they're not as well off as a lot of us that can guide and bring bucks home to keep the food pantry filled up, But why take your like the place here in town that raises the salmon? Why tell them where you're going to put them and everything else? If I got to get done with guiding, I want a little girl or a little boy in my canoe that I can show him an eagle, or I can show him a nest with an eagle in it. It's the time of year, or you can see a moose swimming across, or you can see a pair of loons with the little ones on their back. There's all that stuff, but if you can show those kids, if I can just get one or two of them that would not take dope and not do stuff that they had not to be doing, and they learn it and keep coming back for that, I'm a winner. I, for a guide, have made those kids love the outdoors. And that, to me, means a lot. That means a lot.
That says a lot. You're doing it for the right reasons. Like you ain't looking at it as the checking account and that stuff. You're looking at it as pushing on the future and preserving the future of guiding. And it's to hear people say that actually are sincere about it and go through and do it. It's really amazing because we need more people in the industry to do stuff like that, because that is the future.
It's just, I've got them now so that this kid's coming. They're not the kid they was, but they're grown, and say, "Oh, Lance, we've had a heck of a time. Can you show us to some eagles right now?" Jesus, I can't because the nesting is over with and everything, but we'll see one flying by, and sure enough, and they'll point out and everything. Well, that's it, Let's get it so they love it,
At that point, it's not about the fishing or the hunting. It's about taking and enjoying what most people take for granted and just the freedom of being out there in the memory.
Making their lives much better.
Yes, 100%.
I never did drugs. I never smoked. I swore now and then, But it's a way of life. I love what I do. And I'm out many, many times, day after day after day.
Now, you still actively guiding then?
Very active.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
What's the biggest bass you caught this year?
No, for 4 pounds and 3 ounces.
Nice. Now, is that on fly rod? Is that what you're doing? Or
I didn't have to tell you that.
well, no.
What do you think? I'm crazy?
Are you still guiding out of the Grand Lakers though?
You're damn right I am. I wouldn't leave it for the world.
That's awesome. Keeping
You know?
the tradition going.
I've never had an accident. Nobody ever got wet unless it came from the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was out all day. What was it, 3 or 4 days ago? Rained all day long. All day long. You know? But we had a good day. You know? I had a man and his wife. And it was just great. They love the catching. They love everything. And I put everything back. And it feels good to me. Sometimes I'll just pinch the bobs on the
hook. Yeah.
You know, put them back. I think it's time in our lives where we're getting more and more people, so that if we can get things changed, so that pinch the barb, have them have a lot of fun and everything. If the fish is going to die or something like that, that's something else again to take him and eat him.
Mm-hmm.
But to release him and keep a good fishery in your favor,
That's important.
now it gives you a job. Now all of a sudden things are going better, and you're not going to run out of fish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've seen a lot of lakes that's had it hard, and ice fishing's hurt them a lot. I know I shouldn't say that, but it's true. I don't want to murder everyone, you know. Someday you might want one.
That's right.
And they were from away, so I love the hot money from away. Yeah.
You got any other stories that you'd like to share?
Nothing that I want to put on this.
Gotcha. Well, you got any? So one last question. If you had any remarks to give to someone looking to get into guiding full time, what would it be? What would be one suggestion that you would recommend for them trying to do?
Let's find out how good he is with people. Let's see if he can manage them in the canoe and not make a problem. Main thing is taking them out and bringing them back. I know a lot of guides that up with a canoe, not specifically mine,
Mm-hmm.
but I know them that upset. They all swam ashore. Some of them I was there to take them ashore. I'm not going to say who or why or anything, because they changed their ways. Even the guys did when I pulled them ashore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's life's odd. You got to like it. You got to keep going, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 82, and you're still loving it.
Still living the dream every day.
If I go home tonight and there's something going on tomorrow, and I think I'm going tomorrow anyway, but
Mm-hmm.
it's good. You know, I didn't like all them mice in my blanket I was telling you about.
Hey, can you tell that story again? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind.
It's like 'cause we weren't on camera. If you tell it, before there. So if you can tell that again, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of that guy's name. I can't think of it. My father, I was probably 10 at the time. But Spednick Lake, there's no camps on it. There's no people on it. And a lot of animal life. So he was going to take me down and show me how to catch some bass and how to do this, that, and the other thing. And it got rough, and he brought stuff so that we could slide in and spend the night, come back up in the morning, which I did a lot of too after that. But there was a small camp, small doors in it, and we went in. It was getting dark. He cooked up a little thing there, and we ate a quick bite. there was a bed there. I said, I'll take the top rack and you take the bottom. Okay, he says, that's good enough, son. I said, okay. So I got my clothes off and I crawled up and crawled down in the blankets. And he finally got to bed and lit the candle we had there. This flame went out. And I said to him, hey, Dad, there's something crawling all over me. I said, it's across my chest and down my leg. I says, I don't know what it is, but it's not bigger than a bug. It's bigger than a bug. He says, you're full of it. No, he says, I said, really, Dad, they're all over me. Well, he says, I'll light the candle and we'll look. So he got the candle lit, and he says, I'll look. So he come up and stood beside it, and I was up there, and he pulled back the blanket, and oh, my Lord, the mice were running right and left all over the place. And I said, see, I told you. There was lots of them down there. And he said, they're mice. He says, go to sleep. He says, mice don't eat people. You're all right. So that was the beginning of that trip.
They didn't eat you either, did they?
No, they didn't. They didn't bite me.
Interrupted their home for a night, and they didn't like it.
No, I liked it in my own bed back at home. It was kind of tough getting to sleep, but you got to sleep finally.
Yeah. So you used to own sporting camps, right? Instead of sporting camps?
For 58 years, I ran sporting camps. We had numbers of people.
You won the Wiggy Robinson Award, correct? The legendary Maine guide?
Yes, I did.
Wiggy
rided to Augusta with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, lots of times.
Yeah.
I got a big plaque and all that.
Well, I mean,
and I was going to give it to some of the younger guides.
Seeing that, I've talked to quite a few people in the last couple months that have won that and interviewed them as well.
Yeah.
And it humbles me of how much you guys all play that off like it's just a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper.
It is, but it ain't. You guys worked your life to get that, and you was nominated by your peers and other people to receive that, and there's only been, I think, 9 of them given out.
Not yet.
What?
I'm not dead yet.
No, I didn't say. No, but I mean, what I mean is, everyone that I've talked to and interviewed about it, they say, oh, it's just a piece of paper or whatever, but you guys have, you showed your peers, you showed fellow guides and mentors and all that stuff, that you deserve to get that. So, that really is quite the accomplishment. I mean, it ain't like any Joe Blow off the street's going to get the Wiggy Robinson Award.
Wiggy and I, we traveled together day after day.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't day after day because we'd meet for the big bunch of us would all gather around the table and we'd all talk about what's going on and everything. So, yeah, I won the award, but I'd rather have some kids have it and something else,
Mm.
It's just...
Yeah.
I just like to see young fellas get it and be proud of themselves.
Well, I'll tell you that's if I ever was able to get that, which I probably never will, but if I ever was to receive that award, that is something in itself right there that is kind of, I don't want to say a goal, but it's the next level for us younger generation coming into it and seeing that and seeing what you guys have done that to us, that is a very high set of accomplishment to be there.
That set my little room I have in my house, and I never thought much about it. Finally, my daughter out there, the oldest, she said, what are you going to do with that thing you got? I says, I don't know, I'm going to get rid of it. She says, can I have it? The Forest City Land Trust would like to have that to put up in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if that's what you want, take it. I says, but I don't want it in my wall. So she took it, and now they've got that in the wall. And then now I got the Wiggy Robertson Award, and I've got 3 or 4 or 5 more things that the state gave me. I'm not doing it for that.
No, and that,
And I don't want to do it for that.
that's completely understandable, and it's one of them things where like people like I'd say you and me, we're not doing it for that, but to receive that and like just know that like to me it was like you made your peers, like you've proven yourself in the industry to everybody around you, because like there's a whole committee that votes on that and decides who takes and gets that. It ain't like it's just one person that gives that out, and there's numerous people every year that get nominated for it.
I was down to Bangor. They had a big meet, the guides down there.
At the guides banquet there.
I was there, and I'll be darned if I looked over at the table and I looked at some of the girls and some of the stuff. I said, those people are still on the board. I knew them on the board. And finally, one of them caught my eye. She got right up, and another one, they come over and sit at our table and said, hey, we haven't seen you for a while. Mm-hmm. We wish you'd come back.
Yeah.
No, I like to be back there.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
We'll wrap this up.
Okay.
So.
Here, catch.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Lance, for giving us this opportunity and coming on and sharing some of the stuff, with us there, and we greatly appreciate it. And to everybody else out there, thanks for tuning in again for another episode of Through the Eyes with the Maine Guide. And make sure you hit subscribe, like, and follow along for more to come. You just try to hold your mic up here.
I know better. I'll just shut that off and I'll give you the true story.
I can edit stuff out.
Can you catch?
Can you-